what you're able to achieve in detail of your soundstage with the 5088 Shelford, to me, is the best thing that's ever been created in audio recording. My name is Brian Deck. I am an owner and head engineer at Narwhal Music Studios in Chicago, Illinois, in the Wicker Park neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois. And I've been making records for, I don't know, since 1988 or so a really long-ass time. I began working here around 2001, and I worked here as Engine Studios in this exact facility for about 12 years and made most of the records that I'm known for in this space during those 12 years. And then we decided to shutter the business and leased it to some friends and walked away from it. And just last year I found out that it was available again, and I had been kind of longing for my own studio home again, and finding that it was kind of a necessary part of business. So I was able to move back into my old home. So we've been in here since October of last year, 2018, and we had purchased the Rupert Neve console prior to knowing that this space was even available, and so we installed it when we moved in, and the 5088 has been the cornerstone of our operation ever since. My partner Jim and I had both been purchasing portico equipment over the years and experiencing portico equipment in other studios' racks over the years, and just always felt like when you plugged into it, things got better. And I had a 5012 unit at home that I regularly would set at unity gain and put it across my stereo bus when I was mixing at home. And just for very, very subtle sweetening, I always felt that that was valuable to warm up and enliven a digital mix. So when we started talking about what would be possible to do, we had a very definite idea that we wanted our studio to appeal to not only kind of the indie rock, alternative, folk scene or whatever it is that I've been associated with for years, or the kind of fusion and soul kind of scene that my partner has been involved in for years, but we wanted to appeal to jazz people with an affection for like Rudy Van Gelder level recording. And we wanted to be able to appeal to, there's a very strong chamber music scene in Chicago with Eighth Blackbird and Third Coast Percussion Ensemble. Both of these ensembles have won multiple Grammys, and there's a lot of respect and a lot of excitement around the chamber music scene. And we wanted to have a studio where they could imagine themselves recording and get the sonic purity that you need to do music like that. And so there wasn't a lot to choose from out there. We wanted something new. We wanted something warranted. We didn't want scratchy pots. I demoed the centerpiece at home for mixing, for stem mixing at home, and was blown away by it. And so, honestly, I did not demo a console. I didn't feel that I needed to demo a console. I demoed the mic pre-EQs and the mic pre-compressors, and I demoed the Shelford channel, and I knew the summing architecture from the centerpiece, and we didn't feel that there was anything else out there that, regardless of price, that would really perform in the way that we wanted it to. So we just delved into it, and I feel that we've been very happy that we did that. I think we learned things about it that we didn't necessarily know were going to be the case. The depth of field, the width of the field, the clarity of detail, low-level detail. Stuff that's, 30 dB down in the mix, but important to the texture of the drums or whatever. It's there, it's revealed, and in a way that other consoles don't give you, and digital does not give you. One of the reasons I wanted my own studio again is because you gain a level of comfort in your own space, and there's things that you can stop thinking about. Whereas if you're going to a new studio all the time, you are constantly listening super, super hard to make sure that you're not screwing something up. There's benefit to thinking that hard. I've had experiences in studios that I went to and I had to think really hard, and it was, above all, it was a very unfamiliar listening environment, and I have come away from those situations with tracks that I was really proud of because I had to freaking think so hard. But I specifically wanted to stop thinking so hard about that stuff and really be able to focus on the music. And I think that that's one of the things that the 5088 does for me, is I have complete confidence in what's going on here. You have to f up really bad to clip something bad enough that you have to apologize for it later. With this console, if you set sane audio levels and just spend your time thinking about developing an effective chorus for that song, you're not going to come back, 45 minutes later and find that you've ruined the guitar signal by making it overly crunchy. And and there's just so many things about it. The fact that it's new, the fact that it's a new console that doesn't have, you don't set up headphone mixes and then someone's reporting to you that something has completely changed about the headphone mix a few minutes later and you can't find it. You can't find the button. You're exercising buttons all over the damn thing and you can't fix it. You don't have worries like that. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is that it's allowed me to stop worrying so much about the technical aspects. At the same time, of course, there's tools available on the console to really be able to get very deeply into the technical aspects and paint broad strokes or paint very finite detail. The EQ is really versatile and allows me to not have to reach into the rack very often. I can pop it up here. I can structure the gain so that I'm pushing into the buses hard, or I can leave a lot of headroom and just dial in a similar kind of sound with the silk controls. So there's a lot of options for that kind of thing, and that affects how I think creatively and how I work creatively. I think that I am able to achieve what I have been aiming for my entire career for the first time reliably and most beautifully than ever before. I've worked with a lot of very dense music. I think some of the music that I've gotten known for doing is sort of very experimental and very dense. And I've always struggled to get clarity in the density of that stuff. And I feel that I'm able to do that now without really having to work real hard at it. If that is part of the artist's vision, and a lot of people seek me out because I've been somewhat successful at making that stuff clear. If that's part of the artist's vision, I can get there quickly and I can get there in a gratifying way. And I love that. So thank you, Rupert, for making that possible.